Hello again. This is the 3rd of May and turning out to be a nice day today, fairly warm, and as you can see we've taken the tarp off the tiny houseboat. It survived the winter quite well. There wasn't apparently not much of a winter here. Not too much snow and not all that cold, and otherwise things seem to be okay, except for one little problem which I'll show you. Okay, I'm at the aft end of the boat, and this is the country. As you can see, there's lots of bush around, so animals, especially raccoons, and they do like to get into things. Well, they got into the aft deck here, no further, thank goodness. I'll show you what they did. Okay, this is the EVA foam on the back deck and front deck. See, they started to tear things up. I don't know, trying to find a way in. Luckily, they weren't able to lift up the hatch. And so, yeah. Anyway, got a bit more work to do here. So I've ordered some new EVA foam. Should come in a couple of weeks, and I'll have to fix this up the best I can. Also, I got a number of things which you want to change on this houseboat. The biggest thing would be replacing this this outboard bracket. This is basically a kicker bracket. I'm going to be making an outboard bracket to put onto there because we bought a new motor. Ooh, a 25 horsepower Yamaha, brand new. And that will mean a few changes in terms of the cable controls. We didn't get the one that was set up for remote steering because it was $1,000 more. It's already expensive enough without adding another 1,000. So we'll see how things go with that. Other things to do, oh yes, the rear window here, I bought another one, and I'm going to be replacing that today. See how that goes. And then another few things, really want to repaint the cabin top, the yellow, because it was initially just an opaque stain, and we're going to cover that up with paint, the same color, called Honeybee. So lots of little things to do before we can get into the water this year, and I'll keep you posted as to the progress goes with this outboard bracket, which I'll be making out of plywood covered with fiberglass, and also how to jury-rig the remote controls on this Yamaha, because it's completely different from the old Johnson. Anyways, that's it for now. So today's May 29th. It's been almost 4 weeks since we put our tiny into the, or at least uncovered it. And at that time I said I was going to do the window change and make a new motor mount for the new motor. I did the window, which I'll show you later when we get back to the boat. But right now we're obviously not at the boat, in the backyard. In the meantime, in the last 4 weeks, what have I managed to do? I said put in the new window, worked on another houseboat, and also started to work on this new motor mount. So this is it here, made from 3/4 inch plywood, which I'm now going to fiberglass. You can see I had to deal with the angle of the transom, okay, which is about 20 degrees off 90, and I made 6 holes for putting in beer cans, I guess. I'm not quite sure why I did that, but it doesn't lighten the load very much. And I've also put some Bondo or filler to make the to avoid any sharp edges, which of course fiberglass doesn't like. So that's basically it. I'm hoping it'll hold together. Screwed and glued. And the other thing to note is I didn't, if you're looking here, I didn't use any butt joints except for this piece on the bottom and these supports here. The rest are all grooves or rabbet joints to increase the strength somewhat. So this has to hold the new engine, which is a 25 horsepower Yamaha 4-stroke, which weighs about maybe 120 pounds or so. So this should do it. As a test, when we put it on the, mounted on the Tiny, I'll have Janet sit on it. She weighs 120. So if she doesn't break it off, maybe the motor mount has a chance. So I'm not going to show very much about the fiberglassing until it's finished, because there's lots of YouTube videos on fiberglassing over plywood. I particularly like the one by Fishbump. Fishbump. It's a boat builder somewhere in, I don't know, Alabama or Georgia somewhere. He does a pretty good job of explaining how to fiberglass over plywood. I guess the most important thing is that you put an initial layer of resin on top of the plywood to minimize the amount of absorption when you start to put the fiberglass on. Yes, and I'm not using epoxy, I'm using polyester resin for this, so it should work out okay. Anyways, that's it for now, and the next, continue this when we put it onto our tiny houseboat. Today is the 12th of June, and since the last video I've finished fiberglassing the motor bracket and painted it, put it on the boat, and also put the new engine on the boat. I also replaced the window at the back, which I was going to do. I'll show you what's happened. Hang on. Okay, there's the new window. It's a little bit wider than the other one, but I think it's a little more functional. Not going to rattle as much, and easier to open and get some ventilation in. Also, I've taken off, in preparation for painting the cabin top, the yellow, I've taken off the propane tanks and the ladder and so forth. And this is the engine, the 25 horsepower Yamaha, brand new, sitting on its motor mount. I've put in, the motor mount is held in place with 8 bolts, through bolts, 4 at the bottom, 4 at the top. And the way I've had to modify this engine a bit, not too much, because I didn't want to pay the extra $1,000 to have the version that's for remote control. The steering adjustment was quite easy to do. Basically, I cut this plate here, this triangular looking plate. Can you see that? Triangular looking plate, and bolted onto the existing bolts and attached the existing steering cables to that. So that works pretty easily. The gear shift and the throttle cables were a little trickier. I'll show you what I did on that. I have to take this off. Let's see what happened here. Okay, there we go. Okay, now for the gear shift cable first. This is the gear shift cable here. Now it was able to come in where the existing cable was before. It's just off to the side here. I just put it to the side. I haven't cut anything off or anything like that. And it goes through the same place. Now I've made these 2 little aluminum plates to hold the cable in place, because previously there was just a little plastic clip in there to hold it, and of course it broke when I took it off, so I had to do something. Now the existing Bowden cable is a little bit longer than the other cable, so I had to make a bit of an adjustment on the inside. I don't know if you can see that. basically the shift lever is back here, but if I was to move this fitting back to there, I wouldn't be able to shift it into forward. So what I've done is I made another little plate out of aluminum, 1/8 inch aluminum, to basically allow the existing cable to go a little bit further but still connect to the gear shift. And so far, you know, trying it out, it works. We'll see how it goes under actual conditions when the boat's in the water. The throttle was a little bit trickier because this is the throttle right here. And you see that? There's a little, it's actually, it's on a spring. It's on a spring, and I didn't disconnect the existing throttle. You know, I'll turn it and you can see how it moves. See how it moves? Okay, so there it goes. And there's a little stud that comes down. So I've taken the existing cable, throttle cable around, added this little, again, aluminum plate, bent over a little bit at an angle, attached that, drilled a couple holes in here, attached that, and then cable is running up here and attaching to the little stud. To attach to the stud, I've had to, you can see that, I basically had to make a little, took a little piece of steel, angle steel, and made a hole through that, so that the cable can go through that, and the other hole can attach to the stud. And it too works, and I've had to tighten up a little bit with this, what's it called, cable tie, around here to hold it in place. I don't know, I'm still thinking of trying to do something better. We'll see how that goes. Anyways, so far in trying moving the controls around, everything is moving like it should, and I think it'll hold out. Now today's project is to paint all the yellow. I've prepped everything, cleaned everything off, taken most of the things off. I still have a few more things to do, but that should finish today, and then there's only one more thing to do, which is to put the water intake for the galley, the lake water intake for the galley, put that actually below the water line, not where it is now. Okay, so I guess the next video will be when we've launched and we're trying this motor out, and that'll be, I hope, in a week or so, not too long. So anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll let you know when the next one's coming. Thanks.